If this video has found you, you may be experiencing a dark night of the soul. Maybe you have experienced it in the past before. Maybe you didn't have the words, you didn't understand what was going on. This dark night of the soul that I experienced was one that I didn't know that I needed. This is day 4 of me showing up, y'all, being present, allowing myself to be seen and be heard as I should, allowing myself to be felt, to be held in the most genuine and authentic way. So, last year, I experienced a dark night of the soul. And at the time, I didn't know what it was. I had no words for it. I just knew like something, like, what is this? What is going on here? As I mentioned in the last video, I had the chance, the time to actually rest my body about 3 or 4 months after I had my baby. And this was right after I quit my job. And because I was able to actually rest, like really rest, all these different emotions, all these different memories were coming to the surface. And at the time, I didn't realize, like, why? Why is all of this stuff coming up? Things that I had forgotten about that happened years ago. And I was just like, I don't know what's going on, you know? I felt like I was losing my mind for a second, literally. And there was one day I was walking in my room, and all of a sudden I get this memory. And the memory was like this main memory, and the memory was of me being so sad and just so disappointed. Of being sad and disappointed, of being sad and disappointed, right? Like, and just with life, like, I at that time of that memory, which was some years ago, I was just going through life, right? Just, the saying, like, you're there physically, but mentally and emotionally, you're not there, you know. And when the memory came, and all these others started to come, and I just broke down. Like, I broke down, because those who know me know I don't play when it comes to my children, right? Like, even for myself, I be checking my own self, because I'm like, Michelle, now you ain't have to trip out like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it come to them. So, and my children and I, we have that relationship where, like, my children, they come to me about any and everything. Sometimes I'll be like, all right, I don't know why I know all that, but but when I say I love that, I nourish, I do nourish that with them. I was going to say I nurture that. I For me, it's like I need that to thrive as a parent. Like, because you know, I honored that with them. I really do. Um, so when the memory came, I was just like, man, where was I? Not just for myself, but like for my babies. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like they were, just figuring out how to take care of themselves. Nah, because I'm not, no, I'm not like that. A part of my life I grew up like that, and this is no shame to my mother because that's my baby, like that's my girl. Um I hold space for her, and during those times that she was dealing with her own things, especially being an adult and being a parent, right? So they were still clothed, fed, well taken care of, bathed, loved. And but it because I had the thought, I was just like, where was I for them and for myself, and so I just laid in my bed and I just cried, like cried. And the way that spirit works, I'm telling y'all, like there was so many different points that now that I'm thinking about it, that spirit kept my children occupied in a way where there was something that came up for me, like going through, this healing where I needed that time. And they were good, they were safe. They were either playing or, running around the house playing like whatever, but they weren't getting into anything. They weren't fussing and fighting with each other. My older two, it was like, we know she needs this time right now. Y'all sit down and do this, do that, and so that she can work through this. So that in of itself, like extremely grateful. They know, my spirit team knows how grateful I am for that. Um, so as I'm laying in my bed and I'm just crying out, and then all of a sudden, like I sit up and my eyes are still closed though. Now I'm gonna backtrack a little bit to tell this story because then it will make sense of what I'm going to say after I say what I saw, right? So my husband and I, we dated when we were in middle school, right? And middle school love, broke up, and life just kept going on, right? And he posted something on Facebook. I was living with my mother at the time, me and my oldest son, and my stepdad, my little sister. We were all living together. And he posted something on Facebook, and my mother reached out to him and commented on his, picture. And then she came and showed me, and she was like, "Girl, he just graduated from sub school and da, da, da," right?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Mom, now I got to say something because you said something." And at that time in my life, I was just, taking care of me and my baby, right? And so that started us talking again, and then we started dating again. And he told me that right before we started talking, he had a dream of me. So he had a dream of me, and I was in a pit, right? And it was like fire around the pit. So trying to get in, trying to get out, it was kind of like impossible. And he said that I was I was in the middle of the pit and I was looking up, like trying to get out, and he was there. He was standing there, not in the pit, but on the outside of it. And he looked down and he came and took me out the pit, right? And when he took me out, he saw that I was pregnant. And it's just so, ironic. Like our daughter, our oldest daughter, she's a fire sign, and she's an Aries, which is I'm an Aries moon. So it just, that of itself, I was just like, wow, that's crazy. Um, but I say that to say he saved me. He took me out the pit, right? I allowed him to. Back to that day in my room when I sat up and my eyes were closed. The point of view was I was in a pit and it was pitch black. Nothing, nobody, like just in the abyss, right? And then I look up and I'm still crying, right? And I look up and I see this light, big, beautiful light, but it seems so far away, like without, like not in reach. And I saw a hand reaching down to, assist me to come up. And then my point of view changes and it's me, my higher self. I was the light reaching to my physical self. And I said, it's time. Let's go. And I reached down, and then the point of view changes again. And it's now I'm my physical self. And I'm pulling up 12:21 on the timer. And I started this video at 12:12. That was on my clock, on my oven. So that may be significant. I'm pulling myself up out of the pit. And I can literally feel myself like digging my feet into the pit, crawling out, like rock climbing, like that. And I was just like, oh my God, like I am saving me this time. I mentioned the dream that my husband had. I mentioned, um, that because even throughout our marriage and our relationship, and even before, we got together, like people always was trying to like change me and save me and, like correct me and stuff. And I would allow it. That's the thing. I would allow it because I'm just like, well, you know, I mean, it's help, right? So you thinking like they here to help, where I'm like, no, I'm helping myself. I'm pulling myself out. And I literally did. I pulled myself out, out of the pit, out of the sadness, out of the disappointment, out of the hurt, out of the toxicity that was, just in the environment, out of the negative thought patterns, out of all of that. And every day from that day, things just got a little better and a little better and a little better. And during that time, I was aligned with two readers that I just adore. And I literally, like, I give them their flowers. Um, Me saying that I appreciate them is not enough because it was like I turned on YouTube one day and there was a video, and something in me just said, just watch it, like, and I did. And they were just able to talk about certain things, certain messages that they brought that helped me to understand, okay, I'm not crazy. I'm not, and even think past things, like, I'm not crazy. I thought I was crazy. I'm thinking, because folks looking at me like, what are you talking about? No, that's not how that goes, and it's like, no, y'all tripping. Um, and they literally help save my life. Like, I'm not, like, no bullshit, for real. Natija Cave, love her. Like, and it's not to fangirl, like, this is real, authentic, genuine love, like, for real. And energy, INNER, and then the letter G. Those two, baby. So I say all that to say, like, I needed that dark night of the soul to get myself back. Remember last video I was talking about go back and get it. I went back and I got me out of that pit. I went back and I got Michelle. So if you are experiencing, you have experienced, and you just didn't have the words for it, baby, this is my offering to you to let you know that it's okay. You are not crazy. It is scary. It's dark, but you can pull yourself out. You have all the strength in the world, within you to pull yourself out. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I tell you, because I felt like I could not. I was just done. I was just beat down, done, just couldn't. And I did. I did, because I wanted to save myself, not allowing anybody else to do it, not wanting anybody else to do it. I wanted to do it. Okay? So you can don't rely on that substance, thing, person. You got it. You do. Okay? So that's my message for y'all today. I love y'all, and keep going. Keep going. I know how hard it can be. Trust me, I do. But keep going, okay? Keep going. All right. I love y'all.